Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis updated commodities, work our way through the dollar yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these topics and areas looking for potential investment opportunities. They are influenced by the charts to some degree, but I also have ratios and market conditions that influence my decision of where to allocate money. If that interests you, we do have a special going on. Special is the discount coupon code. It is going to be going away very soon, so you better get on it if you want to use that special coupon code. It's 50% off the first month only, and a larger discount on the yearly membership. We do have a midweek update being released here coming up, so you can see what my thoughts and opinions are and what I'm doing in my portfolio. All right, let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on. We've got the DXY. I left my rising wedge there just in case that's a rising wedge. The dollar was stronger today, 0.35. We're still within this wedge, and we'll see what happens the next few trading sessions. We've got stronger yields across the board. So stronger dollar generally moves money into dollar-related assets, generally. But if we're turning and this is about to fall, we could see pressure start to mount in some dollar denominated assets. Another thing that you want to look for is if yields get to a certain point where they continue to go up and up and up and up, that will put pressure on stocks. And yields are continuing to go up. The 2-year yield is up 0.7%, still looking like it's hanging out in this general area. It's hanging out there. The 10-year continues to rip, and we're up at about 4.7% or so. In 2022, we had a little bit of a rollover in the stock market over in this region there. Could we get another rollover as yields start to approach 5%? We very well could. The 30-year continues to go up too. We're almost at about 5%. We're at 4.92%. And we've broken out of these patterns to the upside with good upside momentum. When these yields get to a certain point, and I don't know the exact point, but I would guess around 5%, that's when we start to see pressure being applied to the markets for these growth stocks. TYX TNX ratio flat. We are still massively inverted, so no change there. Bond prices with yields going up means bond prices are going down, and they still look like total garbage, and they are heading lower, lower, and the momentum is lower. 2 in the 10, we got the yield curve uninverting. It's pulling on back. Some people view this as a slowdown in the economy. Now, a lot of the times in history, people ran to bonds as safety while the 2-year and the 10-year fell, but the 2-year fell faster than the 10-year. That's not what's going on. We've got the 10-year going up faster than the 2-year, and the yield curve is uninverting. Does that dynamic change things? And I would say it does. It does change things. So is this a legit curve that's uninverting here that is signaling that we're going to get some sort of crash? Maybe or maybe not. We'll see. Gold up $17 an ounce. We are still within this pattern. Still looks okay. We are consolidating in this pattern at the moment. We've got silver up 0.25%. And again, it still looks good. We've got kind of a squeeze here, if you look this way, that we've broken between these two guys there. We've got a squeeze going on that we have broken to the upside to some degree. Well, depending on what, if you use the monthly candlesticks, yeah, or maybe it's the weeklies I was on. I was on the weeklies. Weeklies, yeah, it looks like that for the weeklies, but the dailies look a little bit different. Platinum up 3.5%. Is this the beginning move of a big move up? I think it could be. We've got a big bullish engulfing on the monthly candlestick forming right now, which generally works its way on up. We have been squeezing in terms of the size of this right into the corner of a big bullish engulfing. a lot of the times I see a big move to the upside transpire from setups like this. And palladium up 1.4% right on support, and that has broken out of this falling wedge as well to the upside. So I do think we're going to see palladium, possibly platinum, both run together to the upside. GDX up 1.3%, GDXJ up a little bit, and SILJ. They all have the same pattern, which is bullish. It's a flag pattern that's come on up, consolidated. They generally break higher. XE to go ratio is up 0.8%. We are at support and holding above support at this current time from an incredibly low level down there in no man's land. This is gold and silver mining companies divided by gold. Crude oil up about 1%, just under 1%. And we are trying to break out of this downtrend line. Let's back out. The downtrend line that I'm talking about is this guy here coming across. If you look at it from the daily perspective and you back out, you tap the top here, tap the top there, tap somewhere in this range there, there. We are right on top of it with a bullish engulfing forming, and it looks like we are closing just above it. I wouldn't get too excited yet. We'll see if we get any follow through to move on higher. But the momentum is up. We are up against resistance. We'll see if we can punch through it or not. TTF gas up 1.1%, still in this upward channel, still looking good. Natural gas in America down 6%. That does look a little bit heavy, like it wants to roll on over here. Bearish engulfing here and here and here. Well, say this one there, bearish piercing it there. So it does look a little bit heavy, like we could roll over. Our boy XOP, yeah, you know me, up 1.13%. We've broken through that resistance to the upside, and I think this looks good to go higher so long that oil does break out. If it does, then we've got a shoulder, head, shoulder, and a potential break here. I'm sure no one in government or the Federal Reserve wants this to break out. Maybe not XOP, but oil itself, because it's going to work its way in all the numbers through consumer price inflation. And then OIH up 1.4%, also moving higher. Here it is, moving on up, and it's following, obviously, oil. Now, it's not the best setup, and obviously we were in a channel and we broke to the downside, so that's not a bullish setup per se. I'd like to get above this resistance line to get a little bit more bullish. Newcastle coal futures down 1%. That's continuing to move itself lower in the short term. That very well could continue lower. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust down 3.7%, getting some selling pressure here. We are still within the big flag pattern, nothing hurt or destroyed. And that's kind of the current spot that we're in. And I think the overall markets are having an impact on Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, or just uranium in general, which is the NASDAQ tech stocks. Uranium futures price still looks good. We are within the pattern. We've got URA down 3.65%, getting some selling pressure, and that is a bearish engulfing where we could head a little bit lower or consolidate. URNM doing the same thing, and URNJ doing the same thing, all the same thing. And we're up against some resistance for URNJ. Copper up 0.4%. We're back within the squeeze of the pattern. And you could do a 1, 2, 3, and this very well could work its way on up if it decides to. COPX down a little bit of a bearish engulfing, so we could further consolidate or head a little bit lower. Iron ore up 0.15%. It's holding on. It looks fine. Nothing really to report there. It's just squeezing into potentially a corner there, if you can see. Aluminum up 1.24%, but still in the channel. No update there. Nickel just moving sideways for the most part. Not much of an update there, just chopping sideways with the nickel. Mu down 0.55, but this was pretty much a win compared to some of the other stuff. But this does look a little bit weak. Bearish engulfing today. Could head a little bit lower or more consolidation. Emerging markets down. We had stronger dollar, stronger yields. Doesn't like it, but chopping sideways from May of 2024. ARE down slightly, right at support. We've got TAN up 3%, surprisingly up 3%. Lithium up 0.34, right at resistance. resistance support line. RMX up 0.6 right at resistance support line. We've got Baltic Dry Index down slightly, but this still looks decent. It looks like we've broken out of this wedge to the upside, and we could do like a double bottom or something like that. XHB doesn't like those yields, guys. Doesn't like the yields, and I agree. We could see this sell off with yields being as high as they are, and mortgage rates are going to react to that 10-year yield. So this is a bearish setup for home builders right now. Russell 2000 down 0.74%, chopping sideways. We've got strong selling pressure in the S&P down 1.1%. This is like what distribution kind of looks like, where we could potentially head lower into a rising wedge. So this looks bearish. NASDAQ also getting bearish signals here and here. This is what distribution looks like. Potentially could turn and go lower. SMCI getting some selling pressure there, 5.7%. NVIDIA, big reversal candlestick. This does not look good. Looks like it could potentially head lower. This is what distribution looks like. Distribution is when it gaps up in the morning and a flood of sellers just rip it lower. And it was down 6.22%. We've got Bitcoin down about 5%. That is a bearish engulfing. So we'll either go down or sideways to consolidate would be my guess. That's a very similar candlestick to this one. Ethereum down 7.5%. Again, we're getting these large selling pressure clusters. Generally, that's distribution. Don't usually see them where we're located on top of this support. So, I mean, it's possible that the sellers can come in here and push us lower if there's that much selling pressure still left. MicroStrategy down 10% today. Yeah, kind of a weird looking thing. I don't buy anything up here. Like I just avoid it. What I try to do, I try to look for stuff that's breaking like here or here on the retest. Then I don't buy going on up. So those X's is where I look. And up here, your risk reward is not the same as down here buying it at $17. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Oh, the VIX. The VIX is up today, 11%. This very well could move higher. What I'm seeing is kind of a consolidation going on there where we could jettison on up, which means that the S&P 500 probably is going to go down if that were to occur. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you'd like. Special is the coupon code, and it's not going to be there for much longer, so you better get on it. And that's what I've got. So look for the midweek update on the website, guys. I'll release that late tonight or early tomorrow morning. That's all I've got. So we'll catch you later. This is Finding Value.